It's 2025, the year of our Lord, and it's your favorite show called TWAK. We are coming live again from Ciela Resort in Kisumu, and we are hoping that you are having a fantastic new year. Kainja winjo wewe ni odongo ko woni bedo jangere okamano en mani samoro wameroga mix English gi dholuo nikech ngeni audiences magwa samoro ntiere mang'eny ma ok winj dholuo maleo. An gi luonga ni Danish Odongo Jakno, to an host mar show makawuono, to kawuono an gi panel mapek kochakore on my extreme right. Nyiswa nyingi gi gimitimo, and then are you happy to be on this show, to be fan mar TWAK?
Erokamano, of course, I'm fan mar TWAK.
Yeah.
Nyinga iluongo ni Viscount Kowuor, aja Rangwe, Homa Bay County, to sani endi and director mar Youth Transition Initiative. Kanyo watwak gi vijana kendo watemo engage kod vijende ahinya mag joluo mondo wang'e ni lokruok to wayudo nang'o. Erokamano.
Lokruok to wayudo nang'o, to kwabiro kanyo?
An bende amor iluonga ni Thaddeus Owiti.
Okay.
Atiyo kaka daktari e Homa Bay County.
Okay.
To an ja Asembo Nyagoko Modaki Imbo. Kamano.
Jasembo mago Modaki. Kapok wabiro kuom Nyaber. Wachak kuom Viscount. Kapok wabiro kuom Nyaber. Viscount apenjo niya. 2025 in kinene. Tinene ni en higa madhi chalo nade. En higa machalo nade.
Mogongo haero pakora.
Okay.
So adwa pakora mana matestu.
Sawa, ende go ahead.
Ne oguma wa thuok pith minyer jakwatho yieng dhok to denyo. Aweyo ge kar kanyo. Ang'o miyo jakwatho yieng dhok to denyo. To jakwath onego bed ni tero dhok ang'owa chiemo. Mane situation ma wan godo e Kenya kar kaendi. Especially kwa wuoye e weche vijana. Ni jotelo monego bed ni wuok oko mondo many ne vijende. Sani koro yieng to vijende to timre nade? Odenyo. Omiyo gima wadwa timo kaka Youth Transition Initiative en ni koro nyaka walok the story. Yudho yieng ka jokwath obukoro odenyo mano koro sauchgi. Wan koro the welfare of young people ema wadwa ng'iyo 2025.
The welfare of young people. I like that direction. To koro wabiro kairi nyadene nyiso nyingi gi organism wuoke.
Nyinga iluonga ni Jeroni Makinyi Obwar kendo ji ong'eya ni nyar Yesu. To our organization manyinge Yesam in full N, Youth Empowerment on Strategic Advocacy and Mentorship. Enochiwo mana gi weche mag vijende. To kendo Commonwealth Youth and Peace Network Ambassador and Vice Chair. Kendo en mana weche mag mobilizing young people for a better cause. Yeah. Mobilizing young people for a better cause. I like that. Tapenjinia, in 2025 ni kinene, how do you project the year? What do you think is likely to happen? Katangomi hope ni bro timora. 2025, I am perceiving the year to be, it's a year that is going to be full of positivities because young people have now woken up. The youth have woken up, and that means they're going to take up every leadership position that is going to be at bay. I feel 2024 was much of young people being empowered, the youth being told, being skill built, and every other thing. So in 2025, they're actually ready to take all these positions. That is why I'm even happy to be part of this TWAK, because we are bold into leadership, and we are getting there more aggressive. So I'm looking into a future year next year. You're looking at a future year next year. Koro, Viscount kadugu kumikanyo matin. 2024, there were many things manotimore. General Ogola, Northo, and Ndege. Gen Z no the protest on June 25th, 61 of them no negi. To apenjinia. Iweni igani de manyalo bedo ni Gen Z yudo justice ni police mano nego ge. Nyithindo mano biro gi simu gi placards kande. Moko mano go outside parliament kande. Mano go gi bunde kande. Gi risasi kande. Majuluo ni ilongo ni magena donge. Iweni igani ema wadhina no ka maybe gin gi chance ma yudo justice margi ko support the justice delayed and man justice denied kamano ero.
Anyalo wacho ni kalore gi historia mar Kenya, justice is an elusive concept.
Okay.
Nikech gik manotimre e higane 2024 I mean notimre 1966, notimre in the 70s, notimre in the 80s, notimre in the 90s, onge justice mosaidore. So for me, akwane kaka sacrifice towards change. Ni mondo change yudre nyaka tuomruok bede. To tuomruok ni endi it doesn't have to be violent. And mane pogruok madwa bedo godo gi young people, ni it doesn't have to be violent. Jowa ok ochuno ni nyaka tho. Eka mondo lokruok mondo bete. The approach makao ema nyalo miyo wayud lokruok kata ji ok otho, kata ji ok ohinyore. What kind of approach? Another situation, my young people can be organized, can be mobilized, can be skilled in politics and community development, so that they use their numbers to push change. Mondo mano timre, and they must believe in something. Unfortunately, tabu mawantiere mwaneno in our engagements with young people, they have resigned in their situation. That resignation oknyal miyogi the kind of commitment madware. So what do loko gino? That resignation, what do loko to make young people realize need they have the power, they have the voice, they have what it takes. Monogikel lokruok without necessarily linking at the end basto inego kata itimonade.
But nikech ngini Viscount, our audience is slightly young people. Ma ok nyal understand ang'o timore 1969, ok gi understand ang'o timore, ang'o miwacho ni justice osebedo elusive Kenya. Koro maybe nyalo miyo gi practical examples mag gik mosebedo ka timore Kenya to justice obedo elusive.
Inyalo bedo ni nionge 60s kata 70s, but when you're a student of history, you will know what happened in those years. And then you ask yourself, ka jogi notimo the same thing, to lokruok nokobed. What are we going to do differently? Mondo lokruok manage dwaro no mondo watimone nade wayudgi. So in our engagements, watimo sensitization,
gima mine niya, maybe historically inyalo nyiso gi history mar struggle no mi mention gweko ni igani mano timore lakini nokobedo resolve. Koro keni bi mago bi nyalo miyowa.
Of course, na chako gi 60s.
Okay.
Examples ma wan godo gin ariyo. Wan gi the Wagala massacre, manotimre in the northern frontiers. Then wan gi the Russia massacre, mane because of disagreement between Jaramogi gi Kenyatta, dhano no negi. No kwa winjo kama bange to Kenyatta, the government of Kenyatta, or identify the victims. Motimre nade, magibedo compensated, and the concerns manegin godo momiyo ne gigolo koko. No kwaneno any changes. Gini odhi kamano nyaka in the 80s. I want to give a personal experience new one. Ne achiel kuom jok manotwe kaka mwa Kenya in 87. Notwe for 4 years. Later on, cases of torture. People are talking about torture right now. We cannot reflect back on the Nyayo House torture chambers. We cannot reflect back in 2007 ka the same Luo community manogoyo ne Kibaki kura emunegi kar rompigi to 2207. So gigi osebedo katimore mamiyo anawacho ni can we take a different approach towards change, because if we insist on justice without looking at it as a sacrifice that we have to make, then samoro chunywa bro all.
Okay.
I
like that. Kuro, Daktari, apenji ni 2024 serikal no otieko gima niluongo ni NHIF, National Health Insurance Fund, to ginto digi mo ni shift Social Health Insurance Fund, bodo gi loko ni luongo ni Taifa Care. To ne gino bedo gi tulo gi weche mang'eny ahinya, kendo nitie bag ni kanyo, nitie joma wacho ni notero jonyuol kata mana timo dialysis to nok gilo dialysis, kendo ne wacho ni nitie joma ng'eny manotho ahinya e wachno nikech ne transition ok otimore maber. Koro in kaka penji e area sector mar health, eno ni higa mar 2025 ni dhi chalo nade mar jo Kenya to kendo gi alwora mawuok e counties mago mag joluo?
Aneno ni higa manyien enena ni tarik kaka kwano tuole molokore. But chandruok wato chal ni will just continue more or less on a seamless trajectory. Nikech koro iye wach mar shape for sha nen gima norikni godo ma obwogo NHIF. Koro ne onge thuolo mar ikruok malong'o, emomiyo yudo ka dhano noyudo chandruok bang' ka transition osetimore. Chandruok kendo mosebede maduong' kabisa en ni NHIF sama koro nilore yudo ka nitiere gope madongo mane gintiere go mane pok ochul. Nyaka sani sirikal pok ochiwo thuolo moro amora ni to gope gi dhi chul nade. Koro yudo ka osiptende ng'enygi oluoro chiwo service nikech idwa medo gowi ewi gowi. Tiyudo ni pesa ma iluongo ni reimbursement ema osiptende chako tiyogo chulo jotich, nyiewo yien kod materials madwarore mondo ichiw healthcare ne the person who needs it most.
Okay.
Adieri mar Chief SHA ni okose yangore. Yeah. There's a lot of information is not accessible to the general public kata man to the hostels giwegi. Yeah. King'iyo kata mana kaka oket ni giwacho ni en universal healthcare. Universal healthcare tiende ni everybody who needs the care gets it. Where kamano ma gintie and sama gidware no, without having to pay from out of pocket payment. Iluongo ni catastrophic expenditure for healthcare.
Yeah.
Nyoro machiegni ka sirikal ochako golo duonde ni ng'ato mondo oyud service nyaka bed nosechulo premium.
Yeah.
Premiums gido ni sirikal dwaro ni chulo gi dichiel e higa mangima. To kine ka chon ne ng'ato nyalo chulo pesa kidam spread all over the year. Koro gino osekelo pek ne udi mag thieth kod jotuo bende. Yes.
Osekelo pek ne udi mag thieth kendo ne jotuo bende.
Kech gibiro to kuonde moko nitie miriembo gi by the way. Osiptende mang'eny mok dwa winjo wach mar Chief SHA.
Okay.
Yeah, iriembo literally.
Okay. To kapok wadhi mbele ahinya kapok waduogo kuom jaber Jeronim Kairi, to in kaka ng'ama tiyo kendo ne migawo mar health mar thieth e county mar Homa Bay ineno. Koro king'iyo counties wa ang'wen mag Luo Nyanza gi Migori, Kisumu, ang'o. Ino ni state mar health kawuono ka wane 2025 ni en chal nade? Be ntiere hope moro bende nitie progress matimore koso chal nade?
Ang'eyo ni kata nyathi konyuol kiny gokinyi ok ochako wuoyo, then juma manyien odhi sikul, bang' dwe oja klas 8. Koro en thuolo mar dongruok mos. Ka jogi nosekelo wach mar insurance manyien kendo kelo giloke ni Taifa Care, wageno no biro dongore mobed gima stable mar reliable ma dhano nyalo depend on maonge rochni moro. To pok wachopo kanyo. State mar health kaluwo ka ang'e ni chandruok to ng'eny. Counties ma kaluwo ka wasebedo gi gima iluongo ni the triple threat. Triple threat ka teenage pregnancies. Koro ing'e ni ma mono ji nyithindo ma nyiri tieko skul, yore gi mag skul orochre kata odek. Wan gi new HIV infections. Actually Kenya kaendi Nyanza province emikwano kaka man gi burden maduong' mar tuo mar ayaki. Koro kene ka magi gin chandruok mosebedo godo kata koweyo wach mar Chief or SHA. To chandruok moro gi gender based violence is part of the triple threat ma chando gender based violence en gima olandore kamoro amora, but kaluwo ka to pek maduong' ma wan godo en issue matinye pregnancy called new HIV infections. So SHA Chief wageno ni obiro tegno mos. Wanyalo miyo sirikal thuolo moro. En mani makosa ma sirikal otimo, ne ginyalo kata mana adjust kaka gima ne gidwaro ni Chief SHA otim, NHIF emane timo. NHIF had the infrastructure, it had the expertise and the necessary equipment to perform the exact task makoro jogidwani mondo Chief SHA otim.
Okay. Viscount, koro nenre ni the previous year nentiere tragedies mang'eny notimore Kenya. I can call them a year of national tragedies. To kapok abiro kuomi wadhi ane kuom jaber ma Jeronim koro sani nigi microphone eri. Jeronim, koro there are many issues madhi timore higa ni eri neno. To part of desire marika young people will take up positions of leadership. Ananeno ni mano is a bit abstract. What do you literally mean? Nikech onge elections madhi timore. How do you mean young people will take leadership positions? No matter ariyo, young people kendo sani ema I would call them the victims of the state terror. Inoka sani eri Kibet last year nomaki manoter obid abducted. Bob Njagi was a young man. 61 of these people manotho on June 25th were young people. Kora penjini kaka ngama young. Do you see any change in terms of the strategy of agitation by young people? So we will just continue because we are angry and hungry. We will just continue, going against the state the way we have been doing so.
Okay, what I meant by young people, our leadership in 2025 is not necessarily political leadership, but it's because okwanyal timo gikmoko the same way over and over again to expect different results. So what I meant is that some young people have gone into what you call organizing. Koro ginema koro gi organize themselves. Get gisi realize niya kaka gibedo kagi approach magi wasebedo kwa tiyo godo has not been bearing fruits. So this time our own intentional measures. We are the ones organizing ourselves and calling each other out. This is not the right way, we need to do this and this. So we are not waiting for any political leadership, but we are starting for leadership among us. Just having young people setting up caucuses in their counties is a strategy that they are now using because, for example, Kisumu County, the narrative moro Kisumu County is just full of goons, it's just full of stone throwers, like there's nothing good coming from young people in Kisumu County. So they needed young people from Kisumu County to organize themselves so that they can get a better name, so they can change the kind of narrative Makuru Jose Kauga about the people of Kisumu County. So for young people to sit down and come up with such initiatives for a name change, I think for me that is something positive because we are going out going on demonstrations, it has not to bear fruit. So for us, we are doing what you call slow advocacy. We sit down, we find out where the problem is, we look for those duty bearers and have a sit down with them to our mind. So that is what I really meant. And yes, it's going to be very different. And that is why there is this forum that we are part of. We were saying that coming 2027, no person over 35 years old debate MCA because Gisebede organizing Makoro are now mentoring themselves to be able to take up these positions. Before Manogi Manok team, before it's people who have money are the ones who can vie for political position. Like in Sanito, we are even telling our fellow young people that Mondomigi supports their fellow young people. So for me, for them to just come together and say that we need to support our own is a step, and that is making us see there's light at the end of the tunnel come 2025 or even 2027.
Yeah, come to 25, come to 27. Okay. Kuro, let's talk about the history mar economic development mar community marwa. In 2024, there were allegations near the four Nyanza counties. No bago inanonentie piny luo otimore Siaya ntie geno wakapo timore Homa Bay. There were allegations ni our leaders are more keen on entertaining us than on developing us ineno. Kuro as Viscount kangama bende olonye weche mag fombo kikyo to bende ngama timo development issues ineno ni what are some of these things our leaders can focus on mondo gikony community marwa odhi mbele mondo ngima lokre.
Erokamano kapok aduoko penjono tadwa briefly address the issue of chief. The understanding mar dhano pod opogre kabisa on new government policy, but for me I am looking at the philosophies behind every new government policy. Now when you are talking about philosophy, we are talking about rieko mantiere behind a given policy. So for example, when we are talking about chief, we are looking at how can we achieve universal health coverage as a country. You remember New Uhuru notemo chapni gi UHC, motimo pilot in a number of counties, but it failed because the infrastructure and the template mar health insurance was not the correct one. So an overhaul of NIF was therefore necessary for us to attain universal health coverage. There might be a problem in implementation. Toka wadwa ber objective kaka piny to wawacho ni implementation is the problem, these are the issues that we need to address, but we do not reject everything. Ere kaka wabiro move forward as a country ka everything mokel manyien wa reject. Coming to your question, and it is also related to health. Are we asking ourselves what is the role of the counties in healthcare? Nikech kisomo katiba ting'eyo ni health is largely devolved. Governors governors mag the four counties gin in charge of the up to chigni level 4 or 5 hospitals. Kanye mathieth timore. So kada wana neno telo motegno in our counties mang'iyo maslahi mar piny to kata mana health ma is a problem ni dikoro pogruok nitie. Omio an gima gombo neno, and one of the things that we are doing in our engagements with young people, local leadership is very important in all this. To wane mwanya loloko the local leadership by not being apathetic to the processes mag siasa, but involving ourselves kendo penjere niya kawago kura to ang'o mwang'iyo kuom jotelo mamagwa. Bende nyathi ma nigi the traits of leadership inyalo mi thuolo kata ka lwete ni nono. Those are the questions that we want to ask ourselves. Because what do we leadership mondo bed a preserve of the few mose loot mose kwalo the cartels emakoro watemre nade emowe ni thuolo martel.
Yeah, I like what you said ni nyaka wamende wabed ni wamende wa nini ni you know ni wamanyo in a way how we can ensure ni we are organizing leadership ineno to kuro kaka kuro ngama there's something you said the meeting mo ngodo mar TWAK forum chan me ni there this determinants of health as somebody does a lot of mental health work angiga nitire what we call the determinant of ill mental health. Correct. One of it is poverty ineno.
Yes.
Why do you think ni jotendwa gi tegin jotelo mong'eyo these things? Go for example kaka koro Kisumu ka wan wabedo led gi ngire professor mane the previous leader marango mar governor mar the previous leader mar health CS for health ineno. How can people like you go beyond medicine mondo wawach ni if we don't do development in these critical areas we will see more outcome in health issues? Do you think ni samoro dakteche tijgie ni ginu to mondo uthiedh tuoche so there's an advocacy problem on understanding that?
Pinje duto te mose achieve universal health coverage. Cuba is an example. Mawe pinje mang'eny kopogi. Nyocha uneno kata ka piny mar Kenya or import doctors from Cuba. Argentina is another one. Actually what they sorted out are the determinants of health. En makosa ni system ma wantiere go en mar thiedho ng'ama tuo. But yengi tuoche ng'enyne a kuma ji nitiere. If there's a failure in agriculture, we expect an increase in malnutrition. So the system is set in a such a way that we treat malnutrition instead of preventing. So a determinant of healthcare here becomes agriculture. Emo ni chaki penjo moro. Ere kaka jotend wanyalo konyo youths ma wantiere go. Is to create an environment that would support everyone who makes an attempt to productively exploit what they have to create wealth. That is one way to actually achieve universal health coverage. To kera ni hospitals are ready ni tiere ni thiedho ji does not solve the problem. They are not solve the problem. So if you sort out the determinants of health, our roads are so safe that we do not have people getting accidents. So they don't have to get fractures in the hospital because we have sorted out the determinant of healthcare. What gimachando wasani maduong and mental issues. You see, everything else can actually affect your mental. Poverty is a really a difficult socio-economic state. Magi medo mental and sani por wayudo youth mang'eny bende donjore drug abuse because that is the only thing manyalo soothe the pain that they have. So jotend ose fail wakanyo okamano wase prioritize in we have given attention to wrong we are watemo nego rem to kwamany gima kelo rem determinants of healthcare.
Koro mondo video bedo gi the book of lamentations.
Yes.
Mag issues kaka especially in samoro it can be very easy for us to always lament and talk about all these things ineno. Koro let's now go to the four counties mag Lunyanza ineno. For development purposes ngine nyaka wangie ni angomi idoni mondo governments your priorities in terms of youth inclusion and youth support, the four governors mag regions mwantiere gi kiangwengi nikich unless we put all these things on the table wabro wachini ok gitim lakini samoro advocacy motimo ingeni our governors are politicians and they can only respond to the issues that focus. So now assume that you're speaking to the governor of your county. What would you want them to prioritize for young people in their annual development plan mangeni no gobeni ageni akeni sanose lost kusino gobeno chakore in the coming year?
So as a priority, nitiere gimobedo mention ni advocacy. It's true nitiere samoro ma advocacy goes wrong because our duty bearers, iwacho ni samoro, what you want to be prioritized in the ADP is not a priority to our policymakers. So what happens, for example, what you did as the CSO members back then, kane wadwaro budgetary allocation for reproductive, maternal and neonatal and adolescent health, was to start having meetings and trainings with our leaders to make them know that such an issue is of a priority, that is reproductive health care. And by doing that, just by inviting them to our workshops and them making know the importance of reproductive health care, we got a budgetary allocation for Ramka reproductive maternal health care. So sometimes I feel sometimes advocacy goes wrong because our leaders that we look up to don't really prioritize the issue because they don't see the sense of it. So that's why we come in as the members of the community or the CSO, because it actually needs a multi-pronged approach. It needs everyone to come in. So they don't prioritize it because they don't know the importance. Now we come in and then we train them and then they prioritize it. And then also, what I'd really love for our governments or our governors to prioritize is to look on youth employability, and that these I don't mean just the office job or white collar jobs, but to get to know or to get to help to open the eyes of youth. Mondo miginenia, how then do we access opportunities? How then do we become innovative enough to create jobs for ourselves? Because my young people believe in that white collar job is the end goal. But Koroka, we are having mentors, people like Viscount, to come together and organize youth and let them know that they don't really need to get white collar jobs for them to be employed. Korosa zingine, youth, jomatindo doma na mondo mi, chiugi mati, no katani attitude. Watch attitude is something systemic, it is historical, it is structural, it is something that has been there. Maingini jomadongo kinyacha kosiemo wangwani youth ni attitude marach. Koro yes wadwaro teach. To samori ngeni wote wan gitich to okanyal ngeni an gitich. Kapok ngato biro siemo nani by the way unaweza fanya kazi. Now we need our leaders to just come and help us. Just give me walwedo. You can do this. We have a lot of jobs in the agriculture, in the fisheries, and we can just create jobs. So in as much as I'm really wanting, I'm having a clarion call to our leaders to help us get jobs. They also need to design these jobs with us. Okni ika utichinia waloso ne you the teach machal kama kimo mineno ka ngama tin timo teach lakini owe koren kech mano teach moko ne ka ber kode. But what if wabado conversations niya ka wadwaro teach wakawa jomatindo to waketo ka mind waneno niya untiche giudo ni mondo migibed nade, so they can be in part and parcel of forming these jobs and of designing these jobs. That means they will work, they will do these jobs knowing that yes, if they don't do these jobs then something is going to happen to them. But because you come with the jobs to us, then we do it for you but not for us. Yeah. All right.
Viscount, as we come to an end, Marshone, I need you to speak to the duty bearers, governors ma work nyanza waka. Gini enangomo ne ubedi prioritize katamana as a community angomo ne ubedi not prioritize as a community moving forward in 2025.
Personally, I think talking to our governors would be futile. Okay. Because gimodo aroma nyen and resocialization. Our people have been socialized a yomoro ma osekelo tabu. Now the approach makoro work out 2025 and ni wari socialize gi. Mogwango, they need to understand what politics and leadership is all about. Politics is about who gets what, how, and where. We want to see the ordinary person understanding politics in that manner, so that Samoa engage in any political process, ongeo what is at stake, ongeo gimodaro karkanyo, and obedo forecast. And I don't think nigino and gima chalokaka handouts. That is manok gima jo onego bene dware siasa. Gima jo onego bene dware siasa and development, both in terms of infrastructure and personal development. By the way, devolution onego bene konyowa develop and expand our assets as a community. How do we expand our assets? By ensuring ni nyithindwa who attain the best level of education. And education even in terms of skills. So that ngato kwai from 4 of the college, obedo specific need, this is the skill that I want. And also team must study if that skill is relevant to the market system monetary. The other thing ma adwani mondo awachi sama na wacho ni justice is elusive, and in the persistence to get justice makes you a victim in perpetuity, right? But when you start looking yourself as an actor, then in anoni gikmano timrego not timrena as an actor, and those are the sacrifices that I needed to make mondo gimadwaro mondo timrenare mondo timre. Koro ini bro bedo an actor, and an actor bro bedo kasiko change approaches. Kama indi okodhi kare nikech no tiyo this kind of approach, next time koro tiyo ga different approach mondo gimano dwaro cha mondo timrenare mondo yudi. Erokamano enya.
Yes, magi ni kare kabisa kendo yo machielo mwanyalo empower youth. I think we have a lot of resources which are unexploited. Jawatu somo kabisa kendo this school. And you see, we already have something at our hands. Mwanyalo exploit. Kada the youth already wanted to go mara unemployed go. Hii winjo samano watu wako mkuongo kai wacho ni kadipo ni yo mawuok Kisii biro Kisumu ochot maoge kajirikal. To mawuok Bungoma bendo chot maoge kadonj Kisumu. To jima Kisumu County bro nindo kech. Because we are not even we have no capacity to produce adequate horticultural goods to sustain our local population. Kambi marego mchele mantiere wachni en Kibos. Giju wakni they are actually underexploited. Kata giyo mana mchele muwuok Nyatike magiri umoa Kano magiri umoa machelo Mwea. Pod industry no is underexploited. Actually they are working. They are actually the machine is underexploited. In other words, manjuni raw materials thing, but capacity margidugo. So it means ni kadamana counties kaga Kisumu gingi Kano plains, and I really don't think it requires a lot of capital to re-energize the farmers. That is going to create employment even for the youth, either as farmers or even as transporters. Nyateke is equally underexploited. So you see, these are kind of examples ma wanyalo tiyo godo to even empower the youth, even create self-employment. A lot of land actually in Nyanza is under is bush. Kiwu kata kai kidi Eldoret, kise kalo Kapsabet, kamora moro pide yen. But Turuaka and Bungu everywhere. So we have a lot of resources which are not adding value to our economic needs. And we need to be resocialized. And all these still come to the determinants of healthcare. Poverty eradication.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeronim. Your final comments to ingeni. Sometimes I also feel we don't have to clear our forest to plant foreign trees so that we can show the world that we are utilizing our land. I think also we have to imagine a development that is not Western oriented, because Western is mostly extractive and it's very extractive in nature, and it damages the environment, it damages all these things. You know, mondo gichop kama gichop no it takes another 100 years, you know, and we are going to destroy a whole lot of biodiversity. So I'm also very keen, we should not be purveyors, and this is not just you, this is just for everybody. We should not be purveyors of ideas ma exotic. We need to think about local solutions to our meaning. Your final comments?
Right now, with our children still in school, we should bring them up as young Democrats, so that when they're out, then they know how to navigate all this governance and decision-making spaces with ease. The other one, so that as young people, we keep feeling one governor victims all the time. Another one is agriculture. Whatever we are consuming right now is the production of the seasoning out generation. It's because young people kakawan walworo pur. To walworo pur nikech giweche mag agriculture nikech ka agriculture no se usnwa. Waneno ni en tich ma wan ok wanyalo timo. Koro an gima nyalo kwayo, can we come with innovative ways to make agriculture smarter for young people? For example, if we are trying to advertise agricultural products, can we just have smartly dressed ladies also to just advertise those, so that it can also encourage the young people in the universities that they can as well also delve into agricultural sector. The third one is on triple threat that you mentioned: HIV infections, gender-based violence, and teen pregnancy. Can we have safe spaces or youth-friendly centers with youth-friendly services that young people can always access without stigma and discrimination. Because there are other ways, we are tabulizing almost everything. And you know that Gimokan, people will always have curiosity to go and find out and look for it. Can we have spaces where young people can openly talk and share about matters that is affecting them? I think that way we will reduce the cases of triple threat in our counties.
All right. As usual, Wachogani, when it's short, it's sweet. And that's TWAK for you. Happy 2025. We are looking forward to exciting things. TWAK forums, different parts of the country and of our counties. Could be diaspora, could be local. We're looking for exciting information, exciting conversations with interesting guests. Toka nje Luo, wherever you are, leave us a comment. Let us know how we can access you so that you can come. Because Shoni Okenmar celebrities can. The Shoni is for the ordinary people who work in the Lake region. And you can come and you can make your voice known and you can let us know. Until next time, I'm Danny Shodongo. See you in 2025 and I wish you a happy new year and may God's blessings be with you.